Welcome to the Social Mission Revolution.
Each week we explore some of the greatest undertold stories of businesses and everyday people who are making their ultimate impact on the world through social mission. This is Social Mission Revolution,
And this is your host, Andrea Putting. Welcome to another episode of the Social Mission Revolution. I'm speaking today with Cascie Kambouris, and I'd like to welcome you, Cascie. I'd like to give you the opportunity to tell us a bit more about who you are and what you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me, Andrea. I run the Hope Initiative, which is a social enterprise based right now around bangles that support charities. So we work off a one gift model, supporting 3 charities a quarter. And every time somebody buys a beautiful bangle, which I'm supporting today, they get to decide on where their gift goes. So right now we have the pleasure of supporting Oz Harvest and Share the Dignity and also Rise Up. And people get to actually choose where their gift goes. So there's a real direct social impact when somebody makes a purchase with us, which I think leads the ripple.
Yeah, and it's nice that people get that opportunity to choose for themselves whether they want that money to go.
Well, what I found when I started this is that when I was looking at other things, and I originally wanted to start my own charity, and I thought to myself, what can I do? How can I make the biggest impact? And someone really smart said to me one day, Casey, there's no amount of poverty you can acquire that's going to change the world. You need money to make change. And I thought,
yeah,
there's some real truth in that. What can I do? How can I inspire but still have a direct, a direct assistance to charities that are already established and already doing great work? How can I support them in what they're doing in their great works? So when I chose those charities, they were amazing. I just rang them and I said, what do you need? Tell me what you need. If you could pick anything, I'm not going to give you money. I'm going to give you something. Just tell me what the one thing is that you need. I mean, Share the Dignity were amazing. They just said, please, we need pads for teenagers, for young girls. Because girls as young as 8 and 9 are getting their period and they don't have anything. And I was like, right, there you go. So for every person that chooses Share the Dignity, we provide 3 months worth of sanitary products.
Yeah.
To somebody. And that's just
Fabulous.
That really touches my heart. So,
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of those charities in a minute. But first of all, if there was one thing for you to fight for, what would it be?
Ooh, if I had to narrow it, and this is such a tricky question.
It is a tricky question.
For me, it would be that everybody has a bed to sleep in. Everyone has somewhere safe to go. I think that homelessness is such a huge issue in this country, and I don't think that enough is being done for for people that are homeless, and there's just not enough done for that. So that would be my personal mission.
Yeah, a safe place for everyone to sleep.
Absolutely a safe place for everyone to sleep.
Yeah, and that brings up interesting things in my mind just as I said that, because you said about homeless, and then I've said a safe place for everyone to sleep. There's a lot of people who have homes but they're not safe to sleep in.
Absolutely. I mean, the amount of domestic violence situations, and that's also why we supported Rise Up.
Yeah.
Emergency housing for women, just to provide a toy for those kids who are in that situation living with nothing. That's actually why we chose them specifically. But the amount of people that are in a home, yes, with a roof, and they might be dry, but certainly not safe.
Yeah.
So a safe place for people to sleep. Yeah, that would be the one thing that I would make it my mission to change.
Fabulous. Yeah, that's a really important one, because if we don't get safe sleep, then society doesn't function well, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I don't think the anxiety and the nervous energy that you have and you feel when you don't have somewhere to be and you're not actually protected, either from the elements or just from attack or from it's an incredible feeling that you really can't describe unless you've been there. It's quite confronting.
Yeah.
Mm.
So let's talk about some of those social missions that you've become involved in. You've mentioned about one of them.
Yeah, sure. So which one would you like to discuss? Got 3.
Yeah, you've got 3 there.
Yeah, so Share the Dignity, we obviously discussed them. Rise Up was the other one that we chose.
Yeah.
They're based on the Gold Coast and they're doing fabulous work. The emergency housing that they are providing for women fleeing domestic violence situations, I just think is astronomical. The need is so great. But they set women up in houses. They literally leave in the middle of the night and they have a house by that day.
Yeah.
So when I rang them and I said, listen, what can we do for you? They said money. And I said, I know that you need money, but what can I do? Because I want to have the biggest impact for you. So I want it to be tangible. I want people to have, a heartfelt connection as to where their gift is going. So for us, it's a toy pack. So it's a toy pack for a child leaving that situation because the child is leaving with nothing.
Yes.
So, and that's actually been the biggest charity for us. And I wasn't sure whether it would be. I wasn't sure which way it was going to play out this quarter. But yeah, it's actually been the biggest charity that's been supported through our sales.
Yeah.
So I think that people can really connect with that because the thought of a child leaving and being taken in the middle of the night to somewhere new, B, having nothing with them, none of
their favourite things all left behind.
Exactly right. So that's why for us, I wanted it to be something that was really going to make a beautiful impact for them, and that's why we chose that.
And a lot of people forget about the fact that it's children involved in that as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's heartbreaking to think that kids have to go through this.
Yeah.
And mums and dads and all those, and the kids. It's so devastating for them to have nothing on the other side of this. And if we can provide, a bit of happiness, a little bit of joy, then and for me, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's
the other
third charity? Get my words mixed up today.
They were amazing. I rang them in Brisbane and I said, if I could give you anything, what would it be? Again, they said money, and I said, okay, we'll pick a second thing. And they said pantry items because they get so much. They actually get a lot of fresh food and a lot of stuff that comes out of events, or not recycled food, but that sort of stuff. And she said pantry items. I was like, okay, done.
Flour, yeah.
Flour, sugar, pasta, things that they can make massive amounts of food because they're feeding homeless, they're feeding refugees, they're feeding elderly, they're supporting Meals on Wheels. The mind boggles with how much food that is. It's so they just need food. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's what you need. That's what you'll get. And Oz Harvest has actually been the second most picked up charity. So for every bangle, again, someone chooses them as a charity, then we do 10 pantry items. So for us, it's a win-win. For me, we're doing good wherever we go, and there's always a homeless connection there.
Yeah. It must feel nice for you every time you get a sale. You're thinking, well, it's always nice in business to get a sale, but you're not thinking about the sale. You're thinking about, this is great. They've chosen this charity. We get to go and provide this for these people who are so desperately in need.
I don't actually count sales. I count parcels of joy.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. So the mission is actually to have parcels of joy. By 2025. So for me, it's not about bangle sales. It's totally irrelevant. It's about how many parcels of joy can we provide that helps make a difference. It's not about the sale.
Yeah.
So that's a byproduct.
Wonderful. Yeah, I like that. That feels good.
It doesn't. It feels good, and that's how it feels for me. Because I mean, I've come out of business. We own another business, and it's really interesting. This is screaming to me.
Yeah.
This has been. I became a mother 3 years ago, and it just has been screaming inside me for such a long time to do and to help and to give more. And I think the older that I'm getting, the more I need to do this. And it's just, I just can't do something that I'm not connected with, that I'm not aligned with. I can't.
No.
I can't ignore it anymore. It's yeah.
Yeah, and when you get that in your mind, it's something that you can't not do.
Oh, it's 100%.
You just have to do it.
You know. Yeah.
So what inspired you on this journey? What got you started on doing this?
The backstory or the backstory?
Whichever one you're comfortable in sharing.
Well, no, I'm an open book. I was homeless at 17. I got kicked out of home when I was in year 11, and I ended up in a refuge at 17. So I've had a few years of needing assistance. I lived in a refuge for 6 months in an under 18s facility, and I then ended up in government housing and so on and so forth until I moved my way out of that. When I lived here in Sydney, I actually did a lot of youth street work and a lot of mentorship with Father Chris Riley and his program down here, doing soup kitchens, and our businesses have always been involved. But it wasn't enough for me just to provide that. I needed to do more. So I needed a way, I needed a vehicle of being able to. Yeah, I mean, that's why I said to you I was going to start a charity. That's what I thought I needed to do. But there was just so many charities doing such good work that had such great infiltration. I didn't need to start something else for my own ego. I just needed to support them because they were already doing amazing work. Yeah. So what could I do? How could I provide more inspiration? So it just needed to be something. I needed to find a product. So that's when we started the Hope Initiative. It started off the back of my business mentor, Kerwin Ray. His motto is, this is simple, this is easy, this is fun. And that's where it actually started. And then I developed the range from there because I saw how popular they were and people were gifting them as gifts. And, you know, oh, I know I have a friend that would love that message, or, you know, I've got a friend that such and such. And it just, as people were doing that, they were going, oh, have you thought about such and such on a bangle? And I'd really love this. And that's actually how it grew. It's been such an organic process that it has, to say it didn't require any effort would be lying. But
no, always.
It's really interesting because I've been in a role for 5 years, and it's felt extremely draining and taxing on me. And it's really interesting to be in such flow and in sync doing this. And it feels like all the things that I'm touching are just starting to organically happen now.
Yeah, when you start to put things together, it just kind of goes very slowly and then just takes off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It kind of goes with my personal philosophy about the social mission revolution, is that it's business is where those social missions need to start. Mm-hmm. Because like you said, that they need business, they need money, and they need help with, charities need help with these things, but it's the business that can get behind it and support it that makes it all happen. And you're doing that's what your initiative really is talking about, isn't it?
100%. And part of the reason that I didn't want to do cash donations was because I think whilst it's great that lots of businesses do that, and they say 5% of charity, our business goes to here or there, I don't think people connect with that enough. For me, I don't think people think, oh, sure, they give to charity, but no one ever sees where it goes.
Yeah.
Guess when you buy a bangle, we will send you a video of us clearing the shelf of all of the tampons at Aldi. Like, that's how serious. Yeah. We're taking videos in Target and Kmart picking out bubble ones. That, you know, I want people to really have a direct, heartfelt connection with where their stuff is going, because this is no joke for us. This is what I really wanted a level of transparency about what was happening.
Yeah.
And I really want people to understand that this is where, yes, you bought a beautiful bangle and you may have gifted that, but this is the outcome of that.
Yeah. And I agree with you. It does have that more heartfelt connection rather than just saying, well, some money is going to help women and families in these domestic violence situations, but to say that a child is getting toys when they've left everything behind, you just kind of tear up just thinking about that. So,
tear up.
Yeah, we'll both be in tears in a minute. Yeah, so I can see how much difference that makes. I have a group of girlfriends I go out with once a month. And at Christmas time, we used to have a Kris Kringle. And a couple of years ago, I had enough of that. I don't need anything. And we got in touch with the local women's charity and started creating Christmas time. We put together little packs of mugs, tea and coffee, chocolates, just those little things that the refuges told us mean so much at Christmas time to these women. But to the women giving it, we feel it's like they've got this connection now, and to know that, to think that the woman that gets this could be someone who just lives next door to them that they don't know about. And if you just said, well, we're going to give this amount of money to a certain charity, it wouldn't have that same connection as them going to the shop and selecting that beautiful mug that they choose and what chocolates would they like. It just makes that little bit of difference.
It does. We funny story about toiletries actually. At 2 seminars ago, I actually stood up. There's 400 other business owners in this business program I'm in, and I stood up and I took the microphone and I said, guys, and we were staying at the Westin, which is a 5-star here in Sydney, and I said, guys, I'm collecting toiletries for the refuges in Brisbane. Bring me your stuff.
Yep.
I had to buy a suitcase the next day. I went out, I had to go to Australian bags because I am not joking to you. 34 kilos of toiletries. I had people saying, Casey, do you want me to take the coffee machine? I'm like, no, please don't steal. I just want you to take stuff that the hotel is going to replenish the next day.
Yeah.
And this was sort of how it all sort of came.
Yeah.
And I had face washes, and soaps and L'Occitane and beautiful high-end products. Then I went home, this is at Christmas, and we packed, my girlfriend and Jodie and I had it all over my lounge room floor. We packaged up 425 gift bags.
Wow.
They all went out in Tony Robbins' Basket Brigade. They went out to women's refuges. Oh yeah, I'm not joking. They went to charities in Logan. They went to Touch Point. They went all over Brisbane. And I just wanted something really beautiful to be given, because it seems, I've done Basket Brigade for 7 years now. It's the most amazing initiative by Tony Robbins. They do, have you heard of it?
No.
They do, people are nominated by the local community that need a package at Christmas.
Okay.
So they get a phone number and they get a gift. They know the age, and we all donate during the year. And it's just, what I noticed was that all the mums were getting forgotten.
Yeah.
All the kids, there were so many kids' toys, but there was just nothing for mum. And that made me really sad, because it's always the mums that seem to go without. It's, and I just thought that was not okay.
No.
So we packaged up all of these soaps and these teas. I've been collecting teas from hotel rooms for quite a while now.
I hadn't thought about collecting the tea. I make my husband bring home all of the toiletries all the time.
Oh yeah, shower caps, all of them. You wouldn't
to do that with, yeah.
We travel a lot. My husband and I. My husband travels all year round, and if he has to travel with his own soap by now, he knows. Yeah. Because if I check the pack, and if he come on, where is the soap? But this is how serious that we take charity, like gifting now.
Yeah,
we don't need it. We have enough. We have so much stuff, but we can also afford to buy things, and that's why he knows now not to open a bar of soap, because somebody else needs it more than he does. And that's sort of this is where it's all come from. But on the back of what you were saying, when we did Basket Brigade about 4 years ago, my stepson was 9. I took him with me. And we did our last delivery of the day, and we were the street behind where we lived, quite an affluent area in Brisbane. And we went upstairs to this man's house, and he opened the door and he burst into tears. He said, "Can I hug you?" And I said, "Of course." I said, "Just know that somebody's thinking of you at Christmas." And we left that. And as we were going down the stairs, my stepson said to me, he said, "I had no idea that people in need were so close to where we lived."
Yeah.
And I said, "No." I said, "You can never ever judge somebody else." And so that's why that's really important. Gifting and community spirit starts at home. It starts with everybody. It starts with your neighbour. You can't make a judgment of where somebody lives that they would necessarily have money, because it's not always the case.
No.
And we just try and do as much as we can. And see, I told you I'd cry.
Yeah, well, I understand. Yeah, it's a real, that community spirit is really what it's all about, and making sure that every one of us has that feeling that we're of value to somebody else. Because a lot of those people don't feel that, especially when they've been through some of the things that you've been through. There would have been times where you just feel like nobody cares about you. So having that moment when somebody says, "This is for you," just lifts them up so much.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the most rewarding things that I've ever been a part of. It's like working in a soup kitchen also, and going out and doing the van, like that stuff, having conversations with people who are really down on their luck. It's just, if you ever think you're having a bad day, go and do some charity. That's always my answer for things. Like if you think you want to get some perspective on life and how good things are for you, go and speak to somebody that's homeless. Go and have a conversation. Go and buy someone a coffee. It's an incredible eye opener and a real wake up call about how gifted, how lucky we all are. The opportunities.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, it's something that can always lift us up in the most strangest way. By helping somebody else, it does puts us back into alignment with who we are, I think, too. Yeah, it makes a big difference. So what do you think this means to business to be able to do this? Do you think it shakes up the business? Does it things in a different way?
I know for my business it has, because when I feel like I don't want to, and those moments are so few and far between, it really gives me the kick in the behind that I need. I think that I'm serving a bigger purpose. So for me personally, I can speak for me. For me personally, it definitely gives me the drive and the get up to keep going, because it's not about me. It's about the end result, and it's about the gifting, and it's about what we do with every bangle. So yeah, I think that for businesses that have a social mission and a social impact, I think that we have a social responsibility, if you will.
Yeah, I think it really does make a difference to every aspect of a business, doesn't it?
Without a doubt.
Yeah. It's not about business anymore. It's about doing something that's more important.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So is there any advice that you would have to anyone who is listening about developing a social mission within their business? So they've got a business and they're thinking, I'd like to do something a bit more. Do you have any advice that you would give them?
Yes. For me personally, I think, I know that we've touched on this a few times. I think that quantifying what you do and the impact you are going to have is far easier for people to understand and believe in than saying 5% or 2% or 10%, because it just sounds a bit wishy-washy. If you build houses, for every house built, we will donate a washing machine. I don't know, I'm just picking an item out here, but we will donate a washing machine to a lower socioeconomic or something like that. You take your delivering machine, people get behind that. People can really feel the connection of what you're doing, and it doesn't have to be a washing machine. It can be anything. It could be school fees. It could be, imagine that. Imagine if you provided school fees for someone for a year.
Be fabulous.
For every mortgage sold. That's mind-bending. Imagine that patient. Oh, wow. Whew, that's something to think about. I should suggest to somebody that's a writer downer.
Yeah, that's a good one for someone. Yep.
It is a good one. But every time we have a direct impact like that, we lift the vibration of the world. We decide that we are going to do some good in the world. It's not 5% here or 10% there. You are saying, here is a school. I am going to pay the school fees for a child that falls below this line. And there you go. You're having a direct impact in someone's life and a family's life and then a community's life. And that's the ripple effect. It's the community. Yeah. It's not one person.
Yeah. And then that child's life of
absolutely
into the future of what difference that they can make in the world at some time.
And then they pay it forward.
Yeah.
You know, this is the stuff. This is the stuff. I mean, I had people help me. I've been gifted some amazing opportunities and some amazing advice years ago. And it's part of what I do, why I do this. I have to. It is my social mission to give back and to change somebody else's path.
Yep.
I have to. And if we can all inspire people, just one person to do the same thing and to do good for somebody else, then we will make a ginormous effect.
Absolutely.
That's changing the world one person at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. And very much what this podcast is about, isn't it? Starting that revolution of social mission.
Absolutely. You know. I don't have to tell you about changing the world. One podcast at a time. I'm just going bangle at a time.
Yes. So, would you like to tell us about how people can get in touch with you and about the bangles and how they might want to purchase them as well?
Absolutely. They can purchase as many or as little as they like. We have an amazing range of bangles. We have a few different collections. If you're sensitive, stay away from the F word collection. It will not be for you. It has a certain level of sass that, is required sometimes. We have a beautiful anchor range, which are beautiful leather anchors. The anchor represents hope. And for us, and certainly for me, it just reminds me that when times are tough and I'm going to weather a storm, just to drop my anchor and really hunker down. My personal favourite, though, are the faith and inspiration ranges, which have beautiful messages on them. There's a bit of a business line, things like hustle and focus and be the change you want to see in the world. That's probably one of my favourites.
That's probably a good one for me.
Yeah. You know what? One of my favourite ones, and I think this is a great mantra, is I attract joy into my life.
Absolutely.
Whenever I change my bangles every day. I never wear the same thing 2 days in a row. It really depends on how I'm feeling and what I'm trying to achieve. But I'm telling you, there's not a day I don't wear one. And they just remind me. They remind me all the time just to either breathe or to hustle or to focus or whatever it might be that I need that day. It just reminds me to stay my course. And they've been really helpful for me. Really, really helpful. And I'm really glad from the feedback that we're getting from other people, they're being really well received too. So to answer your question, thehopeinitiative.com.au. You can also find us on Facebook, The Hope Initiative, at Facebook, and we're on Instagram, which is The Hope Initiative AU.
Yeah. So I think that's a good reason for everyone to go and buy not just one, but several, so that they can be inspired for something different every day.
Oh, imagine that. They're all hand-packed by me, so stamping can be a little bit wonky, but it's hand done, that's wonky. I'm embracing my inner arts and crafts, and I'm hand packaging and hand posting. So I love it. I love the process.
Yep. And who needs stamps put on perfectly?
No, never. So I will share one story if we have time.
Yes, we've got a few minutes to share.
My brother came to stay with me for a week. We've just renovated a house together, and he has a friend in a domestic violence situation, and very sad situation. And he went through my collection of the night, scurrying through, and he bought some bangles for his friend. He took them back to Adelaide, and she burst into tears when he gave her the bangles, and she said to him that that's always going to remind her to keep going. And she feels like now she has a barrier of protection with her. And when he told me that, I was so moved, and I thought, this is why we do what we do. It's not about the person. It's not about, because often people don't buy them for themselves, they buy them as gifts.
Yeah.
They see them for somebody else. They see somebody else needs to have this on them. And for me, I think that is just the most amazing thing, People are not buying these selfishly, they're buying them as gifts and as tokens of hope and of love. And that for me is just one of the most amazing things.
Yeah, it's a gift that gives twice, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah, because it means so much to the person who gets it.
Yeah.
But it's also helping somebody else, which feels good as well. It's a double barrel. Double barrel of gifting.
I had to write a condolences card for a lady the other day for somebody that bought some bangles, always in my heart, for her friend's husband that had passed away. And I couldn't bring myself to write the card. I had to get the lady at the newsagents to write the card when I packed the parcel. It was to be the facilitator of I felt like I was the conduit in the situation of a beacon of light. I thought that was really quite lovely that they had entrusted us to help with their friend's pain. And I thought this is why it's really interesting, because it's such different, examples of where the bangles go, but they're all just so intertwined and they're all so connected that it's just so lovely for us to be involved in people's grief and happiness and all of those times. And it's just
all those moments of need, different moments of need in people's lives.
Yeah, you really nailed that.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting ride.
It sounds like an interesting ride, and it sounds like it's extremely rewarding for you.
It really is. It really is. I feel really blessed.
Yeah.
Really blessed.
Well, it's a thank you for your time, Cascie. It's been a real joy talking to you and learning about what you do and your products and what it really means to society, to the communities that you share with. It's a really uplifting story that I'm sure is going to encourage some people to maybe buy some bangles, but also to maybe incorporate some social mission into their business, which would be which is my goal in doing this podcast. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And that's another episode of Social Mission Revolution. I'll be back next week with another Social Mission Revolutionist. This has been the Social Mission Revolution with Andrea Putting. Join me again next week when we'll speak to another social mission revolutionist who will inspire you on your journey to making your ultimate impact on the world.